Last video for the rocket. Uh, I'll finish all the little details that we really need to have to complete this. So one of the things I want to, highlight here, I put this chamfer in the top of my fin to make it more aerodynamic, a little better looking. I want to look at that a little closer. Actually, I need to move this in the timeline. So you see, I'll grab it here on the left, and I want to make the chamfer before I make the circular pattern. And just going to go here and uh, repick it and show you the detail. So if I pick on an edge, you'll see it puts a chamfer. There's different types of chamfers, and distance and angle and two distances often is the one I'm using more often because I'm picky and I like to have the look that I'm going for. So I want to show you that in this case, I'm going to play with it and make it the distance number one. I'll make that a bit bigger, so maybe a point 0.1. Point 0.1. Let's see. Okay, so that wasn't the one I was going for. I'm going to leave the point 0.4. And I'm going to go over here and adjust this leg to more like a point 0.2. So you see that? You'll see that that has got more of a leading back edge on it. And I'm going to duplicate that over here. There we go. Now we have a cool looking sharp fin. And I could dare to do some more sculpting down here, probably at this back edge as well. But so I could get the chamfer out again and do a similar kind of cut back here at the bottom. Still too big, so let's try 0.05. I'm gonna though stop right there and just stop myself because it's easier to 3D print with these flat surfaces at the bottom. So we're gonna have a lot more success. So maybe don't do that one so much. Okay, so then you see it updated all my fins because then I moved it in the timeline to before the circular pattern. Um, okay, what I'm gonna do now is move on to an important element, which is a place to tie our shock cord to our nose cone. And, uh, you can use some license on this. I'll show you one possible way to do this. How about that? But uh, you need to create a loop of some type or some way to get to tie off your cord to this cone, and so that it all comes down together and so you don't lose your cone. And what I'm thinking on this one, I'm kind of sort of making this up as I go along, so just bear with me. But I'm gonna click on this face, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do, or what I'm thinking. Uh, I'm putting a center point circle in here because what I really want to do is create a. I'm gonna go ahead and push this in. So remove. So something like that. And now I'm going to click on that face and sketch. And this time, though, for the sketch, I'm going to use the center point rectangle. And I'm going to put in probably something like that. You kind of see that I'm really just eyeballing it here. And then I'm going to extrude that back up. Okay. Now this could be a challenge to 3D print if I'm asking it to print all this, and this would be the bottom face. Um, but the bamboo's print support material pretty good, and you usually can chip that stuff off. So I'm just going to go for it and hope for the best there. If you can, pull off a tie down feature in the way you design it that makes it easier to 3D print, then that is a good thing. So, for example, let me just mention that if I draft this, you'll see you can draft extrudes, and that one does make it easier for at least you to get in there and chip out any infill that might be taking place. If I make that little adjustment in the draft, and you can increase or decrease that. And you can probably guess maybe the last thing I might add to this to get it finished would be a slot here or a hole. So one more sketch. I'll do this sketch, and I'm just going to pick this right plane and center point rectangle. Here we go. Probably like right there. Yeah, just as long as I can get my shot cord through there. Um, I'll go in and put some here it is, and then left click. That called the sketch fillet. You click that leg that way, and then it puts it in, and you have to hit the left click to accept it. And here it is. Okay. And I can see I can't highlight it because the solid is in the way. It thinks I want to pick this face, and I really want to pick underneath it where the sketch is. If I hover over top of it, I can go to select other, and I should be able to get it from this list. There it is. This case, you're going to extrude it, but a little trick is you're going to extrude it symmetrically and remove by you. I'm just got to be careful not to go too far. It says blind, and I just want to make sure I don't take anything more than I need there. Uh, Accidentally off this lip maybe or something. There it is. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I can tie off to that when this all goes together. Lastly, we're going to add a slot for the launching rod. And so what I haven't even showed you the assembly side yet. You'll see that your assembly side is going to be empty over here. I'm going to delete all that because I must have done something earlier. And I've pretty much got a version of the assembly right here, right? I've got all the components that I made. They're all down here, and they're all pre-assembled. So I don't have any need or desire to use the assembly tab on this project. I know some students are in habit of doing that, maybe from the way they were taught. I kind of try and teach it a little different. I try and keep all my modeling parts in one part studio here. So I'm really just using assembly when I need to get stuff to have a certain called smart mate or machine kinematic motion study, and in different things. Sometimes you get very complex. But why I'm going to mention and I'll go ahead and click all these parts and just hit the green check mark. That way it'll put it at the origin. Um, One of the things I can get, and I'm trying to make sure I send this out so you all have it as well, is the first robotics library of parts. And I'm going to go to Rev Robotics and pull in we use FTC stuff, and there's this 15 millimeter extrusion. Uh, and what I want is uh, just one piece of this 15 millimeter extrusion. So I'm just going to go pick a, and I pick it from here, and then I'm going to place it in here, okay? And there's a reason. Let me just mention it. So you'll see this is the rod. This is what I'm planning to use for the launch rod this year. And I have a nice long piece of it that we can mount on a stand. And they've got these slots down the rail, down each sides of the rail. And what I'm going to have you guys do is put in uh, just a little slot on the side of the rocket that will allow us to launch this. So I'm just going to set this up for right now since this video is already at 11 minutes. And I'll put one more video in to finish that slot once I prototype one, make sure it works. So I'm just going to hold off on that for right now and end the video right here. So there'll be 4 videos total for this rocket project. Okay.